American Embassy back in Jerusalem.
The American Embassy back in Jerusalem.
Go, Big Red. Go, Big Red. Let's hear it. Go,
Come on,
Big
Blue
Red.
Team. Come on, man.
Go, Big Red. Let's
It's looking
hear it.
live out there, Blue Team. Let's play some defense now. Come on, D up. I don't care what you think about me, I'll be just fine. I don't care if your eyes ever see or you stay flying. I'm trying to be the light beneath the light, and I'm gonna try. Here we go. Now, I got something on my mind and it's been bothering me for some time. So now I'm gonna hear the deaf and see the blind, and hope I find the lesson to the message in my rhyme. You see, if I speak honestly or emphatically, and I say one little thing that's negative about the president, then automatically I gotta be a resident of the other side. Why? That's absurd. The left wing and right wing are on the same bird. Huh. Red team, blue team, we need a fucking new team. Donald J. Trump's part of the same old routine. Behavior. Trump is not Q. Q is not a savior. What the fuck's he gave you? Some clues? Kept you confused? Q is just a part of the illusion, the confusion, not the solution. If Q knows the truth, then why's he gotta hide it in a clue? So you stay undecided and more divided. I don't buy it. You know what I trust? I trust the pandemic. I don't care what you think about me, I'll be just fine. I don't care if your eyes ever see or you stay blind. I'm trying to be the light beneath the light, and I'm gonna try. Helter skelter, shelter in place. Social distancing is not enough space for these noble moguls to piss in our face. It's a disgrace. Nobody fights back, nobody bites back. And once they're gone, no, we ain't getting our rights back. Why is that? Cause we acted like a bunch of soft bitches. Call up the cops if your neighbor got a cough, stitches, wind up in ditches. I hope I get to smell these Hollywood witches when they burning in hell. But right now I can tell we still under the spell. We fell. If you don't take calls and recognize your calls, they're coming for your balls. Red flag laws, government teeth and claws. I don't want my taxes paying for no fucking vaxes that they fast track. Cue up the laugh track, grab you up a knapsack and some provisions, because we got some decisions to make about our future of our nation and what we're facing. Contact tracing, legal interrogation, one PlayStation under God, indivisible with liberty and justice for none. Have they won? No, not yet, but they're close to completing the lobotomy. With precision into scalpels of division, they make the incision the false dichotomy. And it's gotten me feeling animosity toward the aristocracy. I want the blood of the royal elite to flood the street and irrigate the field. How dare you motherfucking pigs bang on your shields? Nobody died when Kaepernick kneeled. I don't care what you think about me, I'll be just fine. I don't care if your eyes ever see or you stay blind. I'm trying to be the light beneath the light, and I'm gonna try. And watch this inside democracy, and I'm gonna try. Turn into a technocracy, before our very eyes. Government only exists,
Yeah, I know, Armed Archangel. What's up, everybody? How you doing this evening? Any earlier, though, and then where's the fun in that, man? It's kind of like the Tonight Show. You stay up a little bit late, regret it in the morning. No. Welcome to the chat. I think it's the first time I've seen you here. Welcome. Glad to have you. What's up, High Desert Pioneer? How you doing this evening? And Broken Patriot. 945 subscribers. Getting close. Getting close. 35 more to go. No. More than that. Math is bad today. Sorry about that. Oh my goodness. Today has been all over the place. I thought about calling this chat Attack from All Sides, because it just kind of seems that way. The things that are in the works, either you call it Agenda 21 or call it whatever kind of agenda you want, but things are going down, things are happening. I got a report from Irish USMC vet this morning that he wasn't able to do his chat because his internet was down, but that they were having staging grounds. Let's see, where did he say that was at? Hold on. Just came back from the health department. So the health department there in Indianapolis has emergency helicopters doing tactical landings in the parking lot and semis staged. So he's freaking out that something's going down. Plus you got race riots. You got all sorts of... We got a story tonight about them trying to end the cash, you know, in currency, coins, because of the coin shortage. Yeah, 55 more to go. There you go. That's the number I was looking for, Broken Patriot. Good luck with that. Definitely going to have to give you a round of applause when that happens, bro. I know getting your first 1,000 subscribers on YouTube is always a milestone. Gabriel Montoya, what's up? How you doing this evening? All right, so we're going to lead with the story that this video is titled after. You heard about the Redskins, Washington Redskins. They're going to have to change their name. There's some hilarious names that being suggested out on social media. I thought that was fun. It's always fun to see those, but I didn't bring any of those up, so apologies. But sure enough, the Texas Rangers are now considered racist. Shortly after the NFL's Washington Redskins and the MLB Cleveland Indians announced they'd be changing their team names, the Washington Post Global Opinions editor demanded that the NFL's Texas Rangers follow suit. I believe they mean the MLB. I don't think there's a NFL Texas Rangers. No, that's baseball. So this person's already on my shit list. Karen Atea claimed that the team's name is not... God, I wonder if that's her actual name. Claimed that the team's name is not so far off from being called the Texas Klansmen. So the Rangers are now the Klansmen. Okay. Ada added that historically, the Rangers, the law enforcement outfit that lent their name to the Dallas-Fort Worth area baseball team, were a cruel, racist force when it came to the non-whites who inhabited the beautiful and untamed Texas territories. Yeah, changed the name to the Foreskins. Yeah, we talked about that before. Get your 80% slowers, yeah. They're definitely trying to come after those right now, too. I would definitely suggest, I don't buy, okay, I say I don't buy anything with a serial number anymore, but I do. The last time I bought something with a serial number was in March, but it's a rare occurrence. Usually I'll try to buy it from an individual, or I'll get an 80%. My really nice build of the 300 Blackout, if you know which one I'm talking about, that's 80%. I probably shouldn't say that on this stream, but whatever. I believe in 80%, so you should too. It's a little bit of work, but there's always somebody out there if you have questions on how to get into it. It's worth looking into. She said the group's origin was linked to slavery, an increasingly ambiguous trope among racial leftist groups who were pushing to defund police departments. The Rangers oppressed black people, helping capture runaway slaves trying to escape to Mexico. In the aftermath of the Civil War, they killed free blacks with impunity, she wrote. In the early 20th century, Rangers played a key role in some of the worst episodes of radical violence in America along the Texas-Mexico border. And this matters why? To baseball? MLB, not NFL? Ranger racism spanned decades. Karen claimed that, and thus the team name is a reminder of how the Rangers were called on to protect white supremacy or how they were deployed to prevent school integration. Wow. There you go. It's never going to stop. I'm sure they'll come after the Arizona Cardinals or, all sorts of teams. They'll figure out some reason why a bird is racist, I'm sure. Oh, so did you guys hear about this story? I heard about it yesterday. I thought about covering it yesterday, but I didn't know much about it, and I didn't have an article. I only had kind of a video that I'd watched from somebody who didn't really talk about the story as much as just kind of made commentary on a broad spectrum of what happened. In Indiana, a mother of two has been gunned down in the downtown canal. This is interesting. She was shot and killed along the canal Sunday, marking the second homicide on that canal in a week. According to the victim's family, the shooting started over some racially charged language. So apparently, someone in her group, there was a group of people. It was her group and a group of black people. Her group were like using the N-word, but with the A, not with the ER. And the black people got all pissy and started shouting Black Lives Matter. Her group, we don't know who in her group, shouted All Lives Matter, right? They had words. They found out that both sides were packing heat. The blacks and the whites both had firearms. They came to some sort of conclusion and be like, you know what, guys? You're all right in my book. You're not racist after all. And they fist bumped in the whole bit. And then they went their separate ways. Should have ended right there, but I guess at least one person decided that shit wasn't over and hid underneath a bridge, and a few minutes later shot and killed this lady. Mother of at least one, I think, two. Mother of two. Could be wrong. What's up, Irish? How you doing? We'll be giving one away in a random morning muster. Oh, I missed something. Oh, yeah? Are we? Damn it, I'm not going to be able to be eligible for that, though, bro. Okay. So basically, that's what happened. Let's go ahead and watch the video here, and then I'll catch up on chat.
According to the victim's family, the shooting here on the canal started with an argument over race. Eventually, the two sides separated and walked away from each other until witnesses claim the killer opened fire from a nearby bridge and then ran away. An argument over Black Lives Matter and language led to a confrontation and eventually gunfire early Sunday morning.
It was squashed. They went up the hill, left, and thought they left, but they were just sitting on St. Clair Street and waiting for us to come under the bridge. And that's when she got shot.
Jose admits he returned fire but didn't hit anyone and says his fiancée, Jessica Doty Whitaker, leaves behind a little boy.
I think she shouldn't have lost her life. She's got a 3-year-old son she loves dearly.
Explaining to Jessica's son that he'll never see his mom again has been the hardest part for the family.
It's hard to tell him his mom's in heaven. When you want to talk to mom, you got to look up and say, I love you, Mom.
Just 1 week earlier, 2 people were shot on the same part of the canal. During one of those shootings, a 14-year-old identified as Curtis White Jr. died during an attempted armed robbery.
Our message is that the canal is still a safe place to go.
The IMPD partners with state police, the Parks Department, and the Department of Metropolitan Development to patrol different areas along the canal. Police have added extra security cameras and will increase patrols especially during the overnight hours.
Just recently, the DMD is now hiring 2 off-duty or overtime officers to work the canal during those times nightly. A combination of all those efforts, we're hoping is going to make a difference, and it can't help to.
For their part, Jessica's family simply wants her killer caught.
We're going through a lot. 3-year-old boy, he don't even understand really. I just want justice for Jessica and her son and her family.
Finally, police have not released any information on possible suspects, but anyone with information on the case can still contact Crime Stoppers. Jesse Webb.
So yeah, there you go. They didn't really go into the whole thing that happened, but there, race riots, bro. It's coming. Oh yeah, if you're gonna be a subscriber to Irish USMC Vet, or if you want to win his 80% lower that he's gonna be giving away on his channel, you best be ringing that bell and be ready to be on a live chat at any moment's notice. We don't know if it's gonna be the morning muster, the afternoon muster, or even maybe the evening muster. We'll find out when it happens. But I would definitely suggest ringing the bell of Irish USMC Vet, man. If I could be eligible for an 80% lower, I'd be all into that for sure. All right, so we have a representative here who's looking to audit the U.S. gold reserve. I don't know. You think that he's going to get anywhere with this? Dude, the area you live in has some real issues with power and internet. I'll be all carrying and demanding credits to my bill for all the outages. Yeah, we don't do good without the internet. Always, so God willing, because the stars have to align for rural internet to work. Yes, since the pandemic is slowing down, the internet is too. Yeah, pretty much everything's coming to a halt. I mean, Amazon taking like 2 or 3 days to ship stuff nowadays. It's crazy. Oh, and Riddle Girl shared your link to your YouTube channel just in case you guys needed to find his channel. All right, so Mooney is seeking to audit gold intervention, ban federal tax on precious metals. I'm okay with that. We don't have any taxing in Arizona, but I do know of some states that tax buying precious metals. And speaking of precious metals, oh my goodness, they just keep going up. I will be hopefully purchasing some precious metals tomorrow. It's hard. It's hard, HTP. It's really hard to keep thinking I'm converting worthless cash into actual money when it keeps going up. Right now, we got silver at $19.32 an ounce, and gold is at $1,807 an ounce. That's crazy. And you can't find a silver round, generic round, for less than $21. I mean, the whole... See, I don't mind paying spot. I don't even mind paying $1 over spot. I understand you got to sell for more than what it's worth, and you got to buy for less than what it's worth, right? You got to keep the lights on. But these people who are charging an absolute butt ton for premiums during this heightened whatever, you know, is bullshit. And it seems like everybody got the same idea at the same time, and you're either going to be okay with it or you're not buying precious metals. You know, you're going to spend $26, $28 on a silver eagle. I'm like, no, I'm not. And my guy, he's been closed for a while, so I don't know if he's going to be open again. He's been having a hard time finding stuff to buy. But, I mean, he sells it as close to spot as anybody in this valley area anyway. Silver is God. I'm trying to get more gold than I am silver right now, though, to be honest. There is no gold. I don't think there's any gold either. Oh, all right. Broken Patriot just subbed to Irish. Awesome. Hello, I told you back in March not to worry so much. I know that. Okay. Why not the premiums? The premiums are bullshit, bro. The premiums are them just cheating people out of money. Silver moving faster than gold. Yeah, for now, but silver is so volatile. Silver is very volatile. Goes up and down so fast. At least gold kind of, I mean, I don't know. Silver is not at its all-time high. Gold is almost at its all-time high. So there's that play too. So there's back and forth. I'll probably be buying gold if I'm able. If he has 1/10 of an ounce of gold, I'll probably buy it. And I'll buy it from him only because he charges what the spot price is plus I think $15 over spot. For a 1/10 ounce is not bad. That's way under anything I can buy it online for. So I think the last time I bought 1/10 ounce of gold from him, it was like $190, and it was like $17.50 an ounce. There's a ton of stuff that's going on way more than it is worth. My seeing a 290 webcam is going for $175 now. Yeah. You've gotten ounces between 18 and 20 for months. Dude, I only have a certain amount of money I can put towards this, and I've been doing it every time. In fact, I've put more money towards it than I should have a few times, just because, I'm trying to panic buy a little bit because I am so far behind. I'm like buying silver and gold the way people who don't have guns are buying them. You know what I mean? I'm not putting anything on credit cards, but it's, I'm definitely going a little hungry and not eating as well because of it. Let's see. Silver has the biggest opportunity, then gold. I was buying my silver eagles for $21 an ounce. Oof. I haven't bought any silver. I have bought some. So I try not to buy silver for $20 an ounce or more. I did buy a kookaburra for the wife because it's cool. And we're also getting into a little bit of the collecting, right? Not a lot. Just I think that's the only one that we have that's just for nice looks. They are now 29. Yeah. It was 50 in January. Oh, your webcam? State taxes, sales taxes are going to go up, as well as states want to recoup losses from the CV bug. Yeah. All right, let's read this. Surreptitious intervention in the gold market by the U.S. government is the target of legislation introduced in the U.S. House of Representatives by Representative Alex Mooney. Congressman Mooney just circulated a letter to his House colleagues seeking formal co-sponsors and support for his Gold Reserve Transparency Act. The bill calls for a full audit, inventory, and assay of America's gold reserves for the first time in almost 70 years. But this audit goes deeper, attempting to get to the root of whether and to what extent America's gold has been compromised. Mooney writes, because there are concerns the U.S. Treasury may have sold, swapped, leased, or otherwise placed encumbrances upon some of Americans' gold. Also requires a full accounting of any and all sales, purchases, distributions, or receipts, a full accounting of any and all encumbrances, including due to lease, swap, or similar transactions in existence or entered into the past 15 years, and an analysis of the sufficiency of measures taken to ensure the physical security of such reserves. You only buy U.S. Mint? Quasar? States tax, let's see. No, I already read that. Real exactly what we're going to pay for it anyways. Here you go. Bet Fort Knox is empty. I bet it is too. I do buy mostly government bullion, but I do have like some bars that's not, and of course the kookaburra is not. It's just a pretty coin, man. It's just a pretty coin. It was, I think, $25. So, I definitely overpaid for the silver content. But man, if you're just buying for the silver content all the time, that's no fun, man. Get into the whole coin collecting. I got like these little coin books that you can get, right? And then, you can put your pennies in there. I got one for pennies. I got one for dimes. I got the one for dimes from 1946 to 1964, so it's all silver dimes. Doing pretty good on filling that one up. Another purchase that I bought recently is these state quarters. I've got 6 different years of these. 6 out of 10. So there's a few. These are 90% silver. I got these for $18 a piece at my guy. Okay, $18 a piece from my guy. That's almost spot. These are $1.25 of constitutional silver. So I'm hoping tomorrow he'll have some silver in stock. We'll find out. So yeah, I don't know if this guy is going to get anywhere with this. I hope he does. I really do. I think it would be good for the country. I mean, maybe it wouldn't be good for... It'd be good for... You know what's good for the country is being truthful. You know, isn't there a saying about, you know, it might hurt, but honesty is the best policy kind of thing? I think America needs to learn from that. Now, this is something that I found interesting. I'm only going to touch upon it. Schools sue to stop ICE from deporting foreign students. But here's the thing. These students that are foreign, that are in America, are doing online school. Johns Hopkins University has filed a lawsuit seeking to block the Trump administration's decision to make international students leave the U.S. if they intend to take classes entirely online. I don't have a problem with that to Trump. If you're going to take classes online, why can't you take classes online in your own country? I'm not saying I don't want you here, but, you know, it is a question. If you're going to be doing school online, what makes you have to be in America to do it? The plan is intended to discourage schools from making politically motivated decisions to close due to the coronavirus. Okay, so there's some back dealings here. So he doesn't want schools to close. Is that what it is? University closures in March played a substantial role in hyping the panic over the pandemic, although roughly half of the resultant deaths have come from outbreaks in nursing homes. Oh my goodness, don't get me started on the nursing home deaths. However, the recovery rate has steadily risen to above 90% since April, and is widely believed that many of those who contract the virus show no symptoms at all, possibly helping to foster herd immunity by developing antibodies from the exposure. Oh man, I had to go and get my blood drawn today. And in order to get my blood drawn, I had to wear a mask. And also, when I go into the doctor's office, there's a person at the door. Before I can even go in to the waiting room, I have to get my temperature taken and be asked her stupid questions, right? So I'm standing there and I'm listening to her. Have you done this? Have you done that? Have you been outside of the country? Have you been anywhere where you've been exposed to COVID? All this. And I'm like, no, right? She's like, you look tired. You sound tired. Are you tired? She starts talking to me like, oh, I must have a symptom of the COVID. I'm like, no, lady, I'm not tired. I'm just tired of answering these questions, and it's coming across as I'm holding my tongue. I am trying not to tear into this lady and just spew all the frustrations upon her and ruin her day. You know, I'm sure she is good intended, scared little American citizen. And I shouldn't be that asshole. I don't want to be that asshole, but it bubbles up inside of me sometimes. Quasar, that's racist. Rectal thermometer? No. Luckily, it's just something they put near your forehead that reads you like a frickin' turkey oven. Defund police movement's new goal is to win local elections. Big surprise. Amid the radical left's recent race riots, essentially to address the issue of police brutality, a political action committee is forming to black extremist local candidates who want to redirect money from police departments to other social services. Yeah, they don't want to get rid of the police. They want to replace the police. An outgrowth of the defund police movement, the WFP Justice Fund is led by the Working Families Party and the Movement for Black Lives Electoral Justice Project. As often is the case in similar leftist activism outfits, the group's website point back to a chain of other parent organizations, making the direct financial backers difficult to identify. So we all know if you donate to Black Lives Matter, you're donating to the Democratic nominee for president and other Democratic people who are running, or Democrats that are running. Many similar organizations are seeded by globalists, including George Soros, Tom Schneider, and Michael Bloomberg. Soros' hallmark in particular has been to fly under the national radar by focusing on targeted local positions such as prosecutors and election officials who will then implement an agenda without regard for actual law. And we see that a lot right now, especially in the case in Missouri with the two people that defended their house, the rich guys, the McCloskeys. Yeah. The McCloskeys. We're in an upside-down world. Liberal status that praise government schools are wanting to close them, and suppose conservatives that want to shut down the Department of Education demanding public schools stay open. I mean, if you're not taking your kids out and homeschooling them, you know, what are you even doing at this point? You can say that the public schools need to be open, but I mean, really, what are they teaching your kids? I would rather them stay closed, in my opinion. Gabriel Montoya, they want to give every kid in America a free iPad. I mean, you're going to get a lot of young people all excited about that one. I was reading an article about how the BLM movement has really put a chink in the armor of the anti-gunners because anti-gunners need the police. I mean, yeah, that's their whole thing, right? You don't need a firearm to protect yourself. You have police officers. Oh, wait, police officers are racist. Well, then only the government should have firearms. Oh, wait, Trump is, Hitler. So their argument always falls apart. The taxpayers will be paying for the kids to play games on those iPads instead of learning. Yeah, maybe. It depends. It depends on the parents. And that's what it really always depends on. We just pretend it depends on other things sometimes. All right, I'm not going to play this. Although this is a short video. Maybe I will play this one. I have another video from him that I'm not going to play, though. It's pretty long. But I will talk about it a little bit. So the GOA and the VCDL say that they've scored a victory in Virginia. I think they've basically got to stay on a decision, but let's watch.
Everybody, welcome back to Guns and Gadgets, your premier source for Second Amendment news. A little late night update on something that happened in Virginia. Just was talking to my buddy, my dude, Eric Pratt, over at Gun Owners of America, and we have a temporary injunction in the case that's working its way through the system right now that both VCDL and Gun Owners of America are working together on, is a case where this gentleman wants to sell some of his guns to two people, one adult and one who is under the age of 21. Now, in many states, anybody under 21 can't own a firearm. However, in Virginia, that is different. You can still be under 21, 18 or over, and still purchase a handgun via private sale. The problem is that the universal background check system that Northam and his cronies put through, thanks Michael Bloomberg, it denies anybody under the age of 21 immediately because the federal law is the way it is. And it doesn't take into effect that the way it's been happening in Virginia is that you can still do a private sale. What do I mean? Well, that universal background check requires private sales to go through a background check. And in order to do that, they're going to get denied because of the age of whoever it is that's under 21. And that, in essence, is a backdoor gun ban on anybody who's 18, 19, or 20 years old looking to purchase a firearm. The judge ruling over this case is Judge F. Patrick Yates, Yeatts. I will have a link to his entire decision Again, it's just a temporary injunction, and this could change. But as of right now, he has exempted anybody 18, 19, or 20 from that universal background check law that the anti-gunners have passed in Virginia for private sale. I have to add that. And this is...
All right, so that's all I'm going to play about. So, I mean, some good news, right? It's not even that great of news, but at this point, we'll take pretty much whatever we can get. At least I will. Oh, Cuomo's supposedly taking heat over the phony New York nursing home study. I mean, this dude should get more than some heat. Yeah. Governor Cuomo is facing blistering criticism over an internal report that found no strong link between a controversial state directive that sent thousands of recovering corona, who's patients into the nursing homes and some of the nation's deadliest nursing home outbreaks. Scientists, healthcare professionals, and elected officials assailed that the report released last week for failing to address the actual impact of the March 25th order, which by the state's own court ushered more than 6,300 recovering virus patients into nursing homes at the height of the pandemic. And some accuse the state of using the veneer of scientific study to absolve the Democratic governor by reaching the same conclusion he had been floating for weeks, that unknowingly infected nurses' home employees were the main drivers of the outbreaks. I think they got a lot of political pushback, and so the response was, "This is a problem, don't worry about it," said Rupert, an epidemiologist, that guy. And Columbia's University Mellman School of Public Health. It seems like the Department of Health is trying to justify what was an untenable policy, added Charlie Harrington, a professor emerita of nursing and psychology at the University of California at San Francisco. Cuomo has been praised for leadership that helped flatten the curve of infections in New York. Really? Has also been criticized over his handling of nursing homes, specifically the order that told homes they could not refuse to accept recovering C-19 patients from hospitals as long as the patients were medically stable, or barred homes from even testing such patients to see if they still had the virus. Wow. I mean, the elderly are the only ones that are really at risk. That and people who have underlying health issues, right? I'm technically one of those. I have an underlying health issue that my doctor tells me that I need to be extra careful because you got one of these underlying issues. Wear your mask everywhere you go. Okay, I will do. I don't know. Pisses me off. Coin shortage ramps up war on cash. Kind of wonder if this is being a setup to get rid of actual physical cash.
I feel like it is.
Yeah. Many retail businesses, including grocery stores and fast food restaurants, have been wrangling with the national coin shortage. Some are posting notices informing customers that they will need to pay in exact change or use alternate payment methods such as credit cards. What's driving this scarcity of quarters, dimes, nickels, and pennies? Well, the answer is, the good old C-19. The virus caused some mint branches to temporarily slow down or suspend production this spring. By May, the total number of circulating coins minted this year came in at around 4 billion, and 1 billion coin shortfall compared with the same period in 2019. So make sure that you collect all the 2020 coins you can, because they're going to be rare. They're going to be key dates. At least some of the things, right? That's what I'd be doing. That's what I'm going to be doing. Some of them anyway. One, I'm not buying Silver Eagles right now. I would love to buy Silver Eagles. But one that I am on a waiting list hoping to buy is the 75th anniversary of the end of World War II. That one it's just a Silver Eagle with a V75 on it. But that one's going to have a limited run. And so I am kind of hoping that I get on that list. If you're not aware of that coin and you're into collecting silver, I would definitely go over to the U.S. Mint and be put on the waiting list for that. And hopefully you'll get chosen, because there's only a certain amount that are going out. If you do win it, make sure you get it graded and then flip it for as much as you can. That's what I'm going to do. Oh, the virus caused some mint branches to temporarily slow or suspend productions this spring. By May, the total number of circulating coins minted this year came in at around 4 billion. I already read that, sorry. Now, as the economic activity recovers, there aren't enough coins to go around. A big part of the problem is that the mint continues to produce more pennies than any other denomination. It now costs 2 cents to mint 1 penny. It's not a penny, it's a cent, making them a losing proposition for an economic perspective. Oh, this is the same thing they did back in '82. It's questionable whether the typical consumer even wants to bother with collecting pennies as change. Their value has been so diminished by inflation that they are functionally worthless. Over the past 50 years, the purchasing power of U.S. coins have gone down by then 85%, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Anyone in 1970 who had proposed minting a fractional penny worth 1/5 of 1 cent would have been laughed at, yet today the penny laughably circulates at less than 1/5 of the purchasing power of a cent in 1970. Well, maybe it's because it's not made out of copper anymore. Maybe we have inflation because we got off the gold standard, and now we just print as much as we want. Back then, pennies were comprised of solid copper. No, not completely. It was mostly copper. Today, they contain mainly cheaper zinc. Pre-1983, copper pennies can be purchased by investors based on their intrinsic copper value for potential use in barter and trade, or to profit from rising copper prices. You can't destroy the old pennies yet, or the old cents, right? I would suggest that you save any penny or cent from 1982 and earlier. Now, not all 1982s are copper. There are some that are zinc. You got to weigh them. They weigh differently, right? But I have been hoarding all my copper cents, and if they ever do get rid of the penny or the cent and get rid of it, then you can destroy it. Then each, I think it's 3-1 right now. I think in 1982 or pre-1982 cent is worth like 3 cents, 3 to 4 cents per in copper melt value. So something to think about. So yeah, I think they're going to at least try to get rid of the cent. All right, so the McCloskeys are going to get indicted. If you guys didn't know that, that's going to happen. It doesn't take much to get somebody indicted. Will it go any further than that? Probably not. There's that, I forget what they're called, but there's the one lady in St. Louis who's trying to hang her career on getting them in trouble. But they're gonna get indicted for sure. Apparently, the lady's pistol wasn't even real. It had been real, but it had been disabled. Apparently, the McCloskeys are lawyers, but apparently they might have had something to do with some lawsuits that are going against that manufacturer of that pistol that she was holding. I think we're actually going to watch part of this video. Huizar, the most patriotic economists are predicting triple-digit silver. Oof, I don't know, man. Won't happen until the petrodollar collapse. Hope not. I've been saving cash too for we've been saving some cash because we do want to buy a piece of land, and you got to have a down payment for that. But if you're saving cash for any other reason, just for a savings account, oh, dude, I wouldn't I'm not a financial advisor, obviously, but the dollar is going to crash. You can't be printing out free socialist checks to people and businesses like this and not expect the dollar to crash. I mean, you see these wide swings, and gold and silver just keep raising up. It's coming. And that's just me talking. You can talk to other people like HDP. He knows a lot about shit like this, right? I'd respect the hell out of him when it comes to this topic. Quasar, I'd be separating my copper pennies for like 10 years. Got a few pounds of them. Right on. I have not. I wish I had, but I have not. Fuck the McCloskeys. They are still kissing ass. Yeah, whatever. They have a right to protect themselves. Right?
Today, and that piece that she carried might not even have been real. Listen, Patriots, you know what I'm going to say. Every thumbs up is you'll fit right in. All right, let's talk about the McCloskeys. This has in many ways moved to the forefront of the Second Amendment talks of what's going on right now in our country. They are, in a lot of ways, the poster children of this movement, and watching what's going on in their lives and watching what's going on with their freedoms, because that does have echoes and effects in our lives as well. Y'all know the incident. I won't go through that, but I am going to tell you what's going on today and what we are watching this week and why. And maybe something I think a lot of folks are not talking about is what I led with, how that firearm might not have been real. It's kind of interesting. And then I'm going to send you over to one of Jared's videos as well. So let me get you up to date, and I want to hear what you Patriots have to say. Do want to hear all of your opinions on it. So we're dealing with the ideas of castle doctrine, we're dealing with the Second Amendment, we're dealing with freedoms, and we're dealing with the very reason, one of the reasons why we have the Second Amendment, the right to protect us and ours and our loved ones. Not so much about protecting private property. That is a separate issue. We're not dealing with that today. Don't chase it, but should we use lethal force to protect private property? I know we all have opinions on that, but as far as their personal well-being and protecting, again, their private property, this is an incident that we do need to be paying attention to. Now, the McCloskeys are lawyers. Y'all know that. Their law firm website is back up. The internet crashed it several times, but I went through it today, learned a little bit more about him. Plus, they are media savvy, especially Mark.
She definitely looks different in that photo than she did with that gun.
Y'all have seen them. He was on in my house first thing this morning. I saw him on the news, and he's been talking, and he is very well spoken. So he's in the middle of this. Now, his Colt was taken over the weekend. There was a search warrant that was issued for the McCloskey household. The authorities came in and they took his Colt rifle away from him, and that did make the news. What a lot of folks don't know is her piece, and some people are saying it's a Walther. I think it's a Jimenez. I'm not going to chase that too far. I think it's a Jimenez. But that piece was not in the household. It was being held by their lawyer, and he turned it over to the police as well. So both of the firearms have now been placed into police custody. What's the chances that they ever get those back? Pretty low. But here's what's interesting is now their lawyer has now recused himself. He still is their lawyer, but just not for this case, because he did have one of the pieces that the police, I don't know the legalities of it, but he said he is now recusing himself from representing them in this incident. Now, here's what he said that I think is fantastic, at least is interesting, because she stood down a mob between 300 and 500 people in her yard. They had broken down a gate. There's been people in my comment section saying, you know, it's the right to protest. It's the First Amendment. No, you don't have the right under the First Amendment to tear down a private gate, a 100-year-old wrought iron fence, to go into a neighborhood that is all of it was private property, and come through as a mob and scare the living daylights out of these people who were having dinner. You don't have that right. That's not a First Amendment issue. But they came through, she stood up, and she stood her ground with that Jimenez. I was a little harsh on her for her in a couple weeks ago, because she did wave that thing right by her husband's head. I'm still going to be a little harsh on that. I think people need to be trained. I got backlash saying nobody needs to be trained. That's too expensive. I think we all do. I do. I really do. On some level, we all do need training. However, it is her right to stand there and her right to bear arms. And that I do support unequivocally. But it turns out, according to their lawyer, that that firearm was not real. Now, it used to be real, but it had been rendered purposefully inoperable to be able to be used in court cases. At this point, it is a prop, or it's what they're using.
This is funny. It almost sounds like it's evidence, right? I guess, you know, he says it's a prop, but it was basically made so they can use it in court.
In cases against that manufacturer. Now, their lawyer said it was used in an ongoing case.
So they're anti-gun lawyers? Is that what I'm guessing? It sounds like they're going against the maker of this firearm, right? In you know, legal area of their life, but they had it at their home, and that's the first thing she grabbed. Was this thing that they're using to go after this gun manufacturer? I am very intrigued by this. Still, I think they have every right to protect their home with firearms or fake firearms or whatever they want, but it does make it extra spicy and interesting. If she knew it was a fake gun, then why would she care about waving it around? Yeah, she wouldn't give a shit at that point, right? I mean, she might not have given a shit anyway because obviously she wasn't trained.
Their lawyer said it was used in an ongoing case that the McCloskey law firm is involved with against the manufacturer. He didn't say, I think it's Jimenez. There is some Jimenez cases going on right now in Kansas City. Sounds like the right region to me. I don't know. But
they're not great
I do know
people.
this, that the lawyer said clearly it was inoperable and unloaded and not able to be used again as a firearm. So at this point, it is a prop. It is a paperweight for someone's desk at this point, and she willingly, knowing that, still stood up to 300 to 500 people, a large crowd who were saying very ugly things to her. That I find fantastic. Now, my question is this. Who is the judge that wrote that signed off on the search warrant? Who did this and why? Like, what is the reason? At this point, we have an activist.
You're gonna take the guns no matter what. Anytime you have to use a firearm, even if you don't shoot somebody, there's gonna be an investigation, obviously. And when they start an investigation, they take your firearm. So there's a good lesson. If you have a firearm you do not want to be seized and taken and maybe not returned, don't use that firearm in use of self-defense. Like, when I first got that 300 blackout put together, I was like, oh yeah, that's definitely what I want to use for self-defense. And the more and more I put into it, I'm like, I think I might need a cheap alternative. Because I would hate to lose this thing for a year or longer. You know what I mean? But I found that very interesting. Obviously, they're not great people. I wouldn't hang with them. Right? I wouldn't say they're on our side. They're definitely anti-gun liberals, Democrats. But at the same time, I will stand up and say that they had every right to do what they did. Fantastically stupid. Nice. They are kissing ass here big time. They hope to get prosecuted. The left is eating themselves. They will. I mean, it's inevitable. They have to eat themselves. Who's going to be the most woke? St. Louis is mafia-run, drug trafficking city, total mafia town. Well, you know, Missouri was a place that me and Little Girl were thinking about moving. At least it was on the short list, you know? And as I said, when this story first broke, I'm going to be watching the story. And yeah, you can say, well, that's in the city. But I don't care. The state law should, supersede anything. Right? Here in Arizona, we have constitutional carry. Everywhere. Counties can't make their own laws. Cities can't make their own laws. It is constitutional carry everywhere. The only person who can go against you holding a firearm are business owners. And they have to have that shit posted. And even then, you can technically carry concealed. And if they see it and ask you to leave, then you should leave. And if you don't, then yes, you're trespassing at that point. Unions run this shithole. Missouri is great. St. Louis and KC are not. Yeah, the whole state's got to be good, man. I don't know. Maybe that place doesn't exist. You know, my ideal place to move. Maybe it doesn't exist. Who knows? All right, so I'm not even going to play this video, but I want to bring this up. This is Guns and Gadgets. This is a letter from Ben Baker, who is asking Mrs. Kimberly Gardner to resign. She is the one that's pushing for the McCloskeys to be indicted, who are going to be indicted. But she's hanging her case on them, saying that, it was the First Amendment right of the black people to protest, and therefore you can't have your Second Amendment right to defend your life and property. It's, what did HTP say? Fantastically stupid. There you go. I love that quote. I'm going to use it. Campaign Brewing to rename popular beer accused of religious appropriation. What? I'm not a big beer person, so I've never heard of this beer. Boy, it was crazy awakening for me when I realized what unions are really about nowadays. I grew up with a union family. My stepmom was secretary treasurer of the AFCO, Texas.
AFL-CIO, Texas.
Yeah, I mean, I've watched some stuff about unions back in the day, especially like with coal mining. Back when coal mining was, back in the 20s and 30s. Yeah, unions definitely had their place at the time. But boy, yeah, they've definitely changed a lot over the years. A lot. An interfaith coalition is pressing the world's largest brewer to remove the name of a Hindu god from a popular beer that dates to the late 1800s. Cancel culture, bro. In a dispute that the beer maker insists is a case of mistaken identity, the group, which includes representatives of the Christian, Jewish, Buddhist, Hindu, and Chuan religions, is calling on Belgium-based brewing giant Anheuser-Busch InBev SANV to rename its Brahma line a favorite in Brazil. Sorry, Brahma was first produced in 1888 by Capriana. Anyway, it's now owned by Anheuser-Busch, who's massively lined up 500 brands, include Budweiser, Bud Light, Corona, I did not know that, and Stella Artois. Beers sold under the Brahma name include a lager and double malt, and a wheat beer, and a chocolate stout. So even beer. Nothing safe, man. Nothing safe. They're coming for everything. What's up, OMG? How you doing this evening? 300 Black is a weak round. 556 outperforms it, but I do not care. 300 Black, terminal velocity drops. You see, it's all about what you want to do with it. Okay? There is, and I'm not even going to get into all the specs, right? Is it the same as a 556? No. Is it souped up 45? Yeah, probably. But it's all mission critical. I went with 300 Blackout because I did look into everything that was all about it, right? I want something that's a rifle caliber that I can run fully supersonic. Supersonic, my 300 Black is going 2,500 feet per second. Okay? That's pretty fast. That's just as fast as a 5.56. Obviously, it's going to have more bullet drop because it's heavier, right? Subsonic, it's going at about 1150. Yeah, that's slower than, a 5.56, but it's also suppressible. And guess what? I got a suppressor. Yes. Still love hearing me say that, right? And it's super duper quiet. The other thing I wanted with the 300 Blackout is I want a shorter package. Wait, I got something for that. Nope, that was it. I got a shorter package, right? It's a pistol. It's about 14 overall inches in length, and it's fully suppressed. So for me, that's perfect. I have a tight quarters. I live in an urban environment. I don't need to shoot out to 100 yards. I don't need to shoot out to 300 yards. I'm shooting 25 yards or less most of the time if I have to use it for self-defense. That's exactly what I'm shooting. And I have shot it over 200 yards, and I'm pretty damn accurate with it with the right ammunition. So there you go. But don't tell me 300 Blackout is worthless, because it's not. It's definitely got a purpose, and the purpose I'm using it for is exactly what I wanted. Real story coming out of St. Louis is that the Muslims and the communists are trying to tear down a Catholic statue. Huh. That's interesting. I hadn't heard about that one. We are in a very small... Oh, yeah. Okay. 308. Yeah. Can you imagine pulling out an AR-10? Don't need an AR-10 to defend my house, bro. That's not what your prom date said. Aw. Quasar's being nice. That suppressor is badass. Yes, it is. I am a fan of that suppressor, dude. It's definitely louder than I was hoping for, because, when you hear it on video... Like, even the video that I posted, it's louder than what came across on the video. It's not loud enough to need hearing protection, but it was definitely louder than what the video suggested it was. All right, sorry, OMG, didn't mean to twist your words. It's mission critical. It depends on what you're using it for. What I'm using it for, I could use, as I said, I could use a 45. I have a 45. I have two 45s, or I could use either one of them. But I don't have 3 points of contact, and I could get a suppressor for those. But when you suppress a pistol, you get a lot more failures than when you suppress something that was meant to be suppressed. The 300 Blackout was meant to be suppressed. And it's run really good for me already, and I haven't shot it a lot. I only did it the one time so far, but yeah, I would rather go with a larger platform, and I believe more powerful than a 45. Yeah. I have a 308 pistol and a 300 black pistol and the 5.56 and a 9mm pistol. First of all, I didn't want to do a 5.56 pistol because what's the point? I mean, you lose so much velocity on a 5.56 when you shorten the barrel. It's not even funny. It becomes very underpowered very quickly. Screw a potato on the barrel. Spud gun? No, thank you. And last story is going to be Burger King addressing climate change by changing the cows' diets. That's right, cow farts are a thing. Burger King is staging an intervention with its cows. The chain has rebalanced the diet of some of the cows by adding lemongrass in a bid to limit bovines' contributions to climate change by tweaking their diet. Burger King said Tuesday that it believes it can reduce a cow's daily methane emissions by 33%. Cow farts will change the world. Being hit with a 300 black at 120 yards and will be getting hit by a truck, so I'd leave the 5.6 most likely. I wouldn't want to get hit by any of them, to be honest. And the 308 is a NFA SBR. Nice, wow. That is cool. I thought about doing an SBR, but at the same time, only if you go to a different state, even to visit, and I do like going to Texas once in a while. So if we go to another state to visit, I've got to do paperwork on all that just to visit, right? It's so much easier for me to just take the pistol. Now on a 308, that's going to have a little bit more recoil. Maybe I don't want a brace. Who knows? And the 308 pistol would be a beast. Yeah, it would be. Now if we can just reduce the amount of shit being spewed by any given politician by 33%. Right on, Riddle Girl. Exactly. Cows emit methane as a byproduct of their digestion. We all produce methane. Don't tell me your shit don't stink. And that has become a potential public relations hurdle for major burger chains. Greenhouse gas emissions from agriculture sector is made up by 9.9% of the U.S. greenhouse. I mean, it's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous story. Also, what firearm are you willing to give up to the police for a year or longer in case you had to use that firearm for defensive of your home or life or liberty? That's something, right? Do you have firearms that you'd be like, I don't want to use that one. I like that one too much. I do. I shouldn't. I know I shouldn't. And neither should you, right? You should be able to be like, yeah, I'm going to grab whatever's available and I'm going to use it. And I guess I would in a pinch, but thinking about it right now, I wouldn't mind having another 300 Blackout pistol that I could grab instead of the one that I built. Maybe one that's like $500, not $3,000. Invest in high points. Oh, dude, remember we went to the gun show and there was a guy trying to sell a high point 9mm, just a normal one, for like $450. I couldn't believe it. I would rock a 10mm high point. Do they make a 10mm high point?
Probably.
I don't think they do. Not that I know of. The 1911 that I purchased, they make a 10mm version of it, and I almost went with it. Almost. But I already have a 45. I already have the ammunition. I already set up to reload it, the whole bit. So why would I get into 10mm? What I kept talking myself. I don't need a new caliber. Eventually, I'll get a new one. Leave no witnesses. Bury the bodies. So here we go. This is my 45. is one of them. This is my Dan Wesson Sea Bob, as you can tell with the bobbed tail. This was my 45th birthday present. All stainless. Mostly Ed Brown parts. It's rounded off. It's pretty nice. For the money, it was really good. It was a firearm that I've wanted for what, like 5, 6, 7 years, something like that. Longer, maybe. So that was one of the ones that I'd always wanted, but I couldn't build it myself. See, these other firearms that I've gotten over the years that are really expensive, I just buy a piece here and there, right? It took me, the first AR-15 I ever put together, I think took me 5 years to put it together. And that one wasn't nearly as much as the one that I just put together, the 300 Blackout, right? Financial things change. But, yeah, I couldn't build the Dan Wesson, so I had to buy it outright. 407, what's up, 407? How you doing? Hammers are better than high points? Maybe. I don't know. High points, as ugly as they are, they work, man. Look at Demolition Ranch. They tried to destroy high points and had a hard time doing it. Never trust a man that owns pigs? Well, then you wouldn't want to trust HDP. I think he owns pigs. If you have hogs, you don't need to bury anything. Oh, that's probably why you're saying don't trust a man that owns pigs. Yeah. Sorry. Nice piece. Thank you. I like 9mm plus P for self-defense. I do too. I have HSTs. You guys know about federal HSTs? My favorite round. I have HSTs in my 45. Right? Yes, the gun is extremely loaded with one in the chamber. I have HSTs in the 45. I also have HSTs in the wife's 9mm. And I have HSTs in my other 9mm. This is not a 1911, but it looks like one. I haven't shown this one in a long time. This is a Star Model B from 1940s. I don't think we actually know the exact date on it. If you guys don't know what a Star Model B is, have you ever watched Pulp Fiction? And Samuel L. Jackson's character had a Mr. 9mm that was nickel plated. That's this firearm here. I just need to find somebody who'll nickel plate it. But yeah, HST's in that one too. Plus P. 124 grain. There you go. All right. Hammers have killed more. Oh, you already read that. And blood splatter, cast off splatter, seepage through the floor. Hammers kill lots of folks, especially if you can't random hammer kills from around the world. Here you go. That's actually a stat. Anyway, I thought I'd show those off a little bit. Give you a little bit of gun porn at the end of the chat. I appreciate everybody for joining. As always, there are links in the descriptions below. The first one is for the song that plays at the beginning of the video before I come on live, which I've been told in a comment recently that somebody just absolutely abhorrently hates. He likes my content, but the song is really dumb, he says. Most likely because he likes Trump a lot. Because he pointed out how Trump testified against Epstein in the same comment. So yeah, I think he's a little triggered on that one. Machete is definitely better than a high point. Yeah, you gotta get close though. I don't like getting close. No high points will work 60% of the time. I don't know. They're butt-ass ugly. Butt-ass ugly. Heavy as all hell. Although, after handling the 1911 for a while, then handling the Glock now seems more like a high point than, you know, in comparison to the 1911, it's really fat. All right, so the first link is to that song. The second link is to Irish USFC Vets GoFundMe, where he's starting a business. Well, not a business, but a place where veterans can come and learn a new skill, such as blacksmithing or farming. all free of rent. No room and board. You just work for your room and board. And lastly, the last one is projectrecover.org, and that's an organization who goes out and tries to find lost service members that have fallen in battle and return their remains to their families. So those are great charities and organizations to donate to. If you have money to donate, those are the ones I recommend. Please go check those out. Also, if you aren't subscribed already, you can consider doing that if you enjoy this kind of content. If you like this content, though, I would encourage you to give a thumbs up to the video. If you dislike my content, go ahead and give it a thumbs down. That's fine. I appreciate those as well. I am on every weekday night at 10 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, which some people have said that it's too late. Maybe we start making a poll on everybody, see if that, maybe I should come on an hour earlier. We can definitely talk about that. That would be an hour and 3 minutes from now earlier, 10 Mountain Central. And at the end of the video, there will be a thing that lists the local times for everybody. Also, I'm going to be starting to say this at the end of chats. I will be taking a few days off coming up in August. When's the thing? August 3rd?
August 5th.
August 5th is definitely out. And probably for the rest of that week, I probably won't be on. So starting August 5th, I probably won't be on for the rest of that week. And I believe August 5th is a Wednesday.
Yep.
So there you go. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, August 5th starting. I won't be on. Yeah. Anyway, that's all I got for you guys. Thank you very much for joining me. Make sure to keep your family close. Watch out for that government. They're definitely coming to get your freedoms. Also, everybody else is coming to take whatever they can to. I mean, it's a crazy world out there. Try to be safe. Carry your weapon everywhere you go. And try to live as free as you possibly can in these trying times. With that, that's all I got for you guys. Thank you very much for joining. Until tomorrow, peace.